Hey, I was rummaging through the attic the other week. We were doing a bit of a clean out. This is sort of a fun one for you. And I came across a footy card book from 2005, JB.
2005.
When were you born?
It was well before 2005, 96 I am.
It was from the Herald Sun. Basically gave the people a chance to collect cards of 10 players per team.
Bit of nostalgia, that.
Yeah, the official collector card album 2005. And I was just going through it. Some of the names are fantastic.
Yeah.
But the great thing about this is that this is in the Champion Data era, which obviously begins in 1999. So a lot of these guys will have some really fun stats that we can sort of delve into.
What's the best name in there that you found?
Oh, it's just in terms of just random names?
Well, yeah.
Now, let's have a look here. Shall we go through this live? Ben Johnson, Collingwood legend.
Yes.
Michael Wilson, Port Adelaide. Stewie Maxfield. Robert Copeland. The streets won't forget Robbie Copeland.
No.
So we've got a new segment. The streets won't forget. And we're going to go through the first. Well, we're going to go through page by page and look at each one of these.
Yep.
So on the first page, I don't know if you can sort of see this when if you're watching on YouTube or not, but we've got Graham Johncock.
That one of the great names.
One of the great names of footy. Mal Michael, Captain Carlton, buzz him off. We don't need to know about that. Byron Shammer, Damien Peveril, and Alan Didak. So Christian, Graham Johncock, one of the great nicknames too, by the way, Stiffy.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about Graham and what his I don't know, most notable stat is.
Yeah, so he started his career as a forward, so I think 2003, 2004 when he was first starting. He played a few games and averaged about a goal per game, so it sort of started off his career as a small forward. But he became one of the early sort of first day modern quarterback back pockets, if you like. He was very good one-on-one player and could lock down a player, but he was almost playing in the back pocket because he was such a sort of good ball user. And speaking about Adelaide and who they need, maybe they need Graham Johncock down there. But that's probably the ones that I got. So 2005 to 2011, he had the 8th most rebound 50s in the competition in that time. So a good sort of 6-year period to have a look at. 12% of those rebound 50s led to a goal. So that's the equal third best rate of the top 50 rebound 50 players in that 6-year period. The guys above him, Josh Hunt, who was playing in premierships for fun at Geelong. Lindsay Gilbey, who we know is one of the most dynamic ball movers from halfback, and Matthew Scarlett, sort of similar, like
fair company.
Pretty good fullback, but I think it was more Geelong's offensive power.
Yeah.
Graham Johncock really sort of sparking a lot of attack from defence for Geelong, for Adelaide, and one of the earliest players to do that.
Speaking of...
he was a high socks wearer, wasn't he?
Oh, was he? I think a few in this era might have been. Yeah, I'll have to have a look through some of the photos. I don't think many of them have... Oh, yeah, there it is. He's in the photo. You can see the socks up.
Yeah, there you go.
Good call. Good memory from you. Mal Michael, obviously Lions stalwart defender.
Yeah, just spoiled king. So 2002 became the first player. We hadn't been around too long. The stat only 2 or 3 years before it, but he became the first player to hit 100 spoils in a season. In 2002, had 133 spoils. 2003 set a new record, 135 spoils. 2004 set a new record, 157 spoils. So that's been well overtaken. I think we're up to about 210 spoils is a record in a season now. So we are seeing sort of more long kicks and more spoils.
Do you know who has that record?
Across again, it's in the last 2 or 3 years. So
Andrews or someone.
Yeah, it'd be someone up there. Yeah, recently.
Brisbane defenders. Love it.
But yeah, he reached 100 spoils in a season for the first time ever of anyone in 2002. But he did it in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. So 6 years in a row. There's only been 2 or 3 players to do it more in a row. That's like Alex Rance, and I think Harris Andrews was one of the players. So one of the original sort of good spoilers in our game.
I'm surprised the stat wasn't the furthest rush behind.
Furthest rush behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30-metre kick.
Going the wrong way.
Kick clanger.
Well, actually, he meant to do it. But it was just sort of random that he was like, I'm under a bit of pressure here. I'm going to snap it from 30 and rush the behind. Moving down the list, we've got Damien Peveril, one of the sort of tagger sort of types, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, one of the guys that was a tagger, but he was also sort of known as being able to win his own ball as a tagger. He wasn't just a straight lockdown player, which you might have had back in those days of guys that get 5 touches and 4 tackles and their job was done because they got the other guy to 15.
Yep.
Tackles were obviously lower in that. The game was more open, a lot less contest. So the first thing I ran for Peveril is like, how many times did he have 10 tackles? Was he the first person to reach 10 tackles? Because I always felt like he was a tackle machine.
Yep.
He averaged, I think it was 2.9 tackles per game across his career. So there was nothing on that.
Hands dirty, Damien.
Yeah, when you sort of start to look at today's tackle numbers, very, very different. But he was actually, if you look at entire careers since '99, he's one of only 4 Essendon players to average at least 19 disposals. This is across his whole career. 19 disposals, 5 score involvements, and 3 intercepts per game. So being able to sort of win the ball, impact the scoreboard, win it back because he's that defensive effort. The 3 names that he's amongst in those 4 is Zach Merritt, Nick Martin and Brendan Goddard. Just looking at Brendan Goddard's Essendon
Yeah,
career.
right, okay.
They were the only other three players to sort of be able to, as I said, win the ball, have a little bit of impact on the scoreboard, but also help defensively.
Decent little stat line. Bit of a Roger Federer lookalike, I think. Damien Peveril, just
Yeah, dead ringer.
Here's another name for you, Byron Shammer.
Yeah, so
Good player.
similar to John Cox, sort of not revolutionised role, but was a real sort of early day mid forward, a guy that sort of played half forward flank for 50, 60% of the game, but you can go into centre bounces when you need a point of difference, which Freo sort of had some good players doing that. Pavlich would do that from full forward. He'd come into the centre bounce sometimes, and Shammer sort of had that role. So looked at his sort of thing, and I know it was sort of the way he was able to create scores. So across the first 4 seasons of his career, I think he was about just outside the top 100 players for total inside 50s in that time. But 27% of his inside 50s resulted in a goal, which sort of made him 37th of the top 200. So it's not 1 or 2, it's not really, really high, but it's sort of, he was second for Freo and quite high, and that's how I remember him, just sort of being a really clean and pure player, getting the ball inside 50. But I'll jump ahead. That led to the 5th player on your page, which I don't know if people saw, but just using that same time period, Alan Didak was the other one on your page.
Yeah.
So using that same Byron Shammer's first 4 seasons, which is 2003 to 2006. Didak was in the top 30 for inside 50s in that time. And as I said, Shammer, Freo scored 27%, or scored a goal 27% of the time he went inside. Collingwood scored a goal 32% of the time Alan Didak put the ball inside 50 in that 4-year period. So that was number 1 in the competition. So the one stat I wanted to look for, each time you sent me the name, I thought, there's a stat I'll probably lean to. I went to expected scores for Alan Didak. Expected scores only started in 2013, so we didn't have enough sort of great data on him. But I feel like he'd be another one.
I've got a good Didak stat for you. Kicked 3 goals in about 50 seconds of game time against West Coast. I reckon it was 2011 at...
I watched that video recently. Was that posted somewhere, or was I just in a rabbit hole on YouTube?
It might have been, but it was about 50-odd seconds of game time. Also kicked the behind of the century in maybe 09 against Melbourne.
Brent Harvey's got behind of the century.
Oh, the poster?
Yeah, after 20 bounces.
The Didak scissor kick is more... looks cool.
Nah, rubbish.